Hi guys, how are you? I haven't made a drawing with Anna video in forever, so I thought I would do that. And I'm gonna show you a project that I've been working on for about a year out here in the desert. It's called 100 Smoke Trees. Yep, and it's 100 paintings. This is how I store them. But I thought I would talk about the different media that I use in the paintings because maybe it could be inspiring and just show you a little bit of how to do one subject with different tools. So a smoke tree is like a bush, a very scraggy bush out here in the desert, and it only has thorns, and it often looks half dead, but they're sort of a challenge for artists to draw or paint them. And so I decided I was going to do 100 smoke trees, and I keep seeing new ones that I like. So this is two examples of the first media that I'm going to talk about, which is ballpoint pen. And I love using ballpoint pen because it's very fast, and you can scribble with it. You can do cross hatching. You can do little drips and drabs and make the thorns of the tree, and build up some really beautiful texture. So I often like the ballpoint pen for when the trees are really looking pretty sorry, but they also have a lot of character. So that's the first media that I'm using. Here's the second media. It is marker. And I have some gray markers, and here you can see two different, this is a cool grays, and these are warm grays. And I use, I just bought these actually, they're Tombow, and they have a sort of a brush tip. And I generally start with like the lighter color of the gray, and then head to the darker colors. And I generally use about 4 different grays, for example, in this painting. So that's marker. And next, I'm going to talk to you about colored pencil. So I don't use graphite much because I just don't like it. It's messy and silvery. I don't like it. But I do like colored pencil, and I generally use a limited palette. So I won't use a whole bunch of different colors, but I'll choose like maybe 4 or 5. And again, it's a media that you can work very quickly with. You can scribble, you can get a beautiful sort of calligraphic line. You can crosshatch, you can layer colors with colored pencil. So I just really think colored pencil is if you're gonna use pencil, which I don't use very often, I like using colored pencil. Doesn't smear, I hate smearing. So that is colored pencil. You can see different styles, like a little more graphic treatment of smoke tree. And these are, by the way, these two are showing when the smoke tree blooms, which is sort of special. It blooms in the middle of summer and it's like beastly hot. And all of a sudden, the smoke trees will be covered with these purple sort of butterfly blossoms. And it's just really, really pretty. The next media that I'm going to talk to you about is liquid ink. Generally it's in a jar like that, and I had a friend give me some, so I'm gonna, I don't know if I can open this. Yeah, there we go. I love liquid ink, and you can use, any kind of brush, and it sinks into this paper that I use, the Reeves, really well, and then you can layer the different colors. And it just gives this like really beautiful brushy feel to the paint. And if you're scared of the colors of ink, you can just start with like black ink and then if you add water to it, it goes down to a gray. So you can see this has got a brown ink and a blue ink, and then some of it is pretty watery, and then this one has got blue and the orange, which are complementary colors, and it's just a really beautiful, like a transparent, very delicate look that you can get with liquid ink. So that's a really fun one to use. And then here is my fallback. This is my favorite media that I use, which is gouache. My favorite brand is Talons. But if you can't get Talons, you can use whatever you can find. The Europeans make a really beautiful gouache. Gouache is opaque watercolor, so it comes in these tubes, and they're not cheap. Just warning you, but you just put them on your palette a little bit like that. Let me see what I can do here. I do not use a bunch of different colors. I use the primary colors plus black and white. And often I don't use black, but the intensity of gouache just makes a really gorgeous, bright color. And it's like watercolor. You can layer it, but it becomes opaque, and but it's very chalky looking. This one, it sort of looks like an Asian plant, but the tree often looks like yellow and almost dead, but still having a lot of interesting life in it. And you can layer, you can paint on top. So for example, with watercolor, if I had painted a dark purple, I wouldn't be able to go above it with a light yellow, like a tint of a yellow, but I can here. And I'm really careful with gouache to allow the white of the paper to sparkle through, and try not to use the white paint to bring in the highlights. And in fact, I do that with all of these paintings. There is no background on these paintings, so I have to be careful of the white paint, and I can't erase. So the last media that I've started using, which is super challenging, and I don't recommend this for beginning painters, but it's a fun thing to try, is water-based enamel. So I just use Rust-Oleum, and I've bought the primary colors. It's not, it's not an artist paint, and it dries super fast in the desert. It's gooey, but I'll show you what it sort of looks like. So you can paint it on, and it's really thick, and it often almost dries on your brush, but it makes a sort of a shiny, you can get a really sort of a shiny look to it, and I'm just liking experimenting with it. I'm doing some other paintings with enamel. It's like painting with, nail polish. But it's sort of fun and gives the paintings a lot of purpose. A lot of, what do I want to say? Character, that's what I want to say. So anyway, I hope you liked this little talk through my different medias that I'm using. And if you have any questions, just give me a shout out. Thanks. See you next time.